to episode 25 of Building with Sand. It is February 4th, 2013, the night after the Super Bowl, and I'm thinking today is going to be a shorter episode than I really want to do. So, I'm not a sports guy at all, and I actually don't like American football. We had people over tonight to watch the game, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I had like 3 beers, and then I got a killer headache, and it is not going away. So, definitely wanted to do this episode because I have some new plans for the city, and I don't think I'll be able to focus well enough to really build anything, unfortunately. I don't know why that something like 3 beers would give me such a bad headache. I used to drink quite a lot, and never got sick, really, unless I was drinking quite a lot of liquors, but never on beer. You know, being a college student, I had my bouts of drinking to excess and getting away with it, and now for some reason I'm unable to do anything remotely close to that anymore for some reason, even though I'm just 27. I think part of it has to do with the fact that I'm always dehydrated now. I used to work out a lot, doing different things, or being in the military and working out, and so I was always drinking water just as a necessity, and now I think I am not doing that nearly enough as much either, so I'm consistently dehydrated all the time, and what that's doing to me is making it so that it's easier for me to get headaches like this, unfortunately. So I just took some Tylenol, and hopefully it will clear up a bit, but don't know if it will by the end of this episode. We'll see. So you might be wondering what I'm doing here. I'm clearing out all the space between the fort and the what is this? I was just in the grocery store here, and I came up with an idea because I was thinking, what should I build in the city that makes it more of a city and more of a desert city, stick with the theme of everything, and that is a bazaar. So you might wonder why I build a bazaar after I have the grocery store. I think it's just more suitable for a desert city to have a bazaar, and the bazaar doesn't necessarily, being what a bazaar is, a area for people to sell things. It won't necessarily be food, if food at all. So I looked around places I had free in the area, and I think this one works out pretty well. It's going to be a very big building. It might be, so far as we've built anything, it might be the biggest building. I'm thinking. I'm not sure. I have no plans to do any building or building preparation other than clearing land out in this episode. If anything, I'm just going to do that in creative because I have ideas, but a lot of them I'm really uncertain about still. One thing is, I need to figure out how big the halls are going to be, and I have some ideas of pictures that of other bazaars that I've looked up, and I'm thinking I want to do something that's generally it's going to be U-shaped, a very long U, with a mostly indoor bazaar, but then an outdoor bazaar in the center. So I gotta think about what it's going to be. And looking up it seems like bazaars were quite a big deal. Bazaars weren't just food, weren't just stalls for selling wares, but there were some that had things like bathhouses and parks and whatever else. So if I make something really big, I could include some interesting things with this. But still have to figure out what I should go, what I should do. You know, well, the shape and everything I still need to figure out, to plan out. Because this is one I definitely cannot just, you know, like, put down blocks and go from there. This one's going to take some preparation. And one thing, first of all, is all of this sand needs to go. Which is good, because the sand is going to be probably all of the sand is going to become part of the bazaar. Because I am running low on sand storage. I want to say I have something like between 14 and 18 double chests full of sand. And that might seem like a lot, but when you divide that by 4, you know, then that's not that much sandstone. And I seem to go through sandstone really quick on these huge builds. But I don't think I have to worry so much about getting sandstone and more sand for a while, luckily. I'm hoping that there won't be a point where I run out of sand completely and have to go to another desert and get sand, but that might be the case at some point. I'm not gonna lie, I had a sand generator. I got sick of wasting materials to make shovels to dig up sand, but thanks to 1.4.2 or 3, whatever the bug fix patch was a little while back, there is no more sand there are no more sand generators. Or if there is, I haven't looked up one that works anymore. So currently my sand generator is broken and I don't expect it to be fixed. I know it was kind of, people thought it was like a cheaty method or whatever to get sand that way, and I guess it was, but figured with this kind of building, it was just kind of a necessity after a while, just because I don't think I could build as much otherwise. It'd be a lot of just me digging for hours and hours and hours. This getting sand for sand. I need to get a new pick. I don't know if this one will allow me to. This pick was going to allow me to even transfer the properties to an enchantment to another pick. It's been combined with other picks over and over. I think this is like the third one, but we'll see. No, probably not going to do that here. Well, but I want to go over to Central, the village, and show you guys what I was working on a little earlier. I had actually cleared out a lot of the sand before. I have definitely cleared out all of the sand before, in some way or another, and then put it back down, which is a pain. See right here, there's a there's a cavern that goes down somewhere, and I just kind of boarded it up and left it. Probably I'm gonna have to dig out all this junk now, so I definitely need a new pick. Go take a look at what I built. There wasn't much. It was just another building, just one. Wanted to do more. Monday kind of crept up on me, and I was thinking of just not doing this episode, but I really just want to keep up with my keep up with my schedule, even if it's gonna have to be a short episode. So you can see already what I was working on. It was just the chapel that I worked on. I wanted to do something to make it look like a chapel that spawns regularly, but change it a bit. I wanted, I'll talk about what I wanted to do at the top of it. Not a whole lot different on the outside. Changed up some blocks, added a couple, and the big thing you'll see is the fence posts that I used. And then on the inside, I redid whatever little altar thing they had here. Made it a little more desert themed, like my desert. And then up here we have like the priest's little, I guess, little home. And at the top, which nothing super special, but you can look over, like it's pretty much the same, but I added this extra dome on top. We're going to have to go somewhere to get a better look of it. It's really hard to tell. What I did was I put like a little dome and then up and a little dome. And I don't know yet whether or not I'm happy with it. I wanted it to look more like an actual dome. Now it looks kind of just like a tower. I'm really not sure. It definitely looks different for what it is, for sure. And but I'm just really kind of, I don't know. I was pretty fine with it actually when I finished it, but now that I keep looking at it, I'm not really sure. So let me know what you guys think about this tower. I'm trying to get a better view of it. It looks fine from the back. I don't know. I kept going higher because I wanted to round it over. It didn't look good either, because then you couldn't tell that it was. So I did the double layer. I'm not sure. The shape of the building is square, so making it round was really hard. But yeah, I really don't know. Still have a lot to do. The rest of this area and these houses. I know I'm putting in the bazaar, and I still have plans for a record store. And what else did I have? A potion shop. But and I'm gonna build those, and they are going to not go in the bazaar. What I'm gonna do is put them somewhere else in the city. So I'm thinking about putting the record store here in Central, maybe along with the potion shop. All the walls in the villages are just kind of, they were meant to be temporary, and I think I'm going to leave them up, but eventually the gates are going to come down so that villagers could move around more. But I think putting them more in the city centers is probably going to be better, and then it'll give a little like the inner cities areas a little more diversity in the building styles. You can cross that one out. But Yeah, so they will go in the city, but the bazaar will have a completely different purpose. Yeah, so that's the current plan. I suppose I can dig out a little more. Try to give you guys a decent episode here, but don't want to make this prick break. And now that I can't see any more health on it, it's probably only got a couple dozen more swings. And I lucked out with my last shovel because it broke and then it came back to me. And I was able to transfer it, and I'd rather not have to go through a whole mess of re-enchanting a new pick. So I will just shovel things, shovel over and over. Today is Monday, and earlier I got an email saying my Dead Space 3 had been shipped from Amazon, which totally caught me off guard. Well, actually, no, it didn't. It did, sort of, because I had forgotten over the course of a day that it was coming out on Tuesday, but I did know it was coming out. Although that was something I didn't realize until a couple days ago, was that it was coming out that soon. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know exactly. I really don't know a lot about it. I tend to nowadays, unless it's a huge game that I'm super excited for, which is very rare, like Metal Gear Solid 5, I think is the only one that I can really think of, where I try to find out as much information as I can beforehand. There are very few games where I really just kind of follow the whole development cycle and all that stuff. So, Dead Space 3, while I know a few things about it, like the fact that it has co-op now, and that they decided to tack on microtransactions like every other money-grubbing developer in the last couple of years, I'm still going to play it and hopefully enjoy it. And if it turns out to be another Resident Evil 6 or Assassin's Creed 4 or 3, then, well, it looks like there won't be any more Dead Space in my future, but I tend to try to give games a chance before they, myself, before hearing about them, which works out sometimes, doesn't other times. Case in point being the new Devil May Cry. I had it on pre-order and I'd cancel it just because I was really skeptical on whether or not it was going to be a good game, but then I watched another YouTuber by the name of Milby. His YouTube account is Milbyful, 2 E's, and he LP'd the game, and it was pretty awesome. But at the same time, I totally didn't feel like I needed to play it now. So take that as you will. I did play all the other Devil May Cries, I think. I think I started Devil May Cry 2. I never actually played the original. 2, which I hear was not the best, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. And which is why I like those kind of games, like Bayonetta. But kind of wanted to see how the game was going to be beforehand, and it looks like it's actually a really good game. But I don't feel like playing it now, so I don't know. But when I'm going to play Dead Space, I'm going to play it solo. I know the co-op is the big thing, but I don't really have anyone to play it with and LP it at the same time. I'd be fine to find someone to play it with. But maybe doing LP of it cooperatively wouldn't be very easy for me, because no one I know really does that kind of thing, other than myself, so... and I won't ask my wife to play that, because I know she doesn't like scary games. Otherwise, we will see how that ends up. I'm not I have yet to have a reason to be skeptical about the quality of the game. Is good. I hope. But I'm not sure how far over I should take this. It needs to be a downward slope somewhere between this and the bazaar. I really don't want the bazaar butted up right against either building, which is why I'm kind of clearing out a lot of it so I can kind of figure out where I should go. What I need to do is find out what kind of length friction I have and how much space I should make. I think this is more than enough. It's going to be big. One thing I'm not sure is how exactly it should be aligned. I'm thinking if it's a U shape, if it's going to be a U shape, this, okay. And these are the entryways, but there will also be entryways all throughout the sides. Be very accessible. It could also be a square, or at least a rectangle, with entries everywhere and then an open middle, and that's possible too. And it wouldn't be too far off from the U, really not. But I have more space going, I guess, north-south than I'd have east-west by far. Twice as much almost. Well, almost. No, actually, I do have quite a bit of space going that way. If I really wanted to go west, I could. But I'm not sure if I really do. I still want to have spaces around the building to add more houses and to have more. I still need space for the city wall, and there needs to still be things around here to have villagers and stuff. And I'm thinking the way I designed the stalls, I'm gonna random a bunch of villagers to sit around in there anyway. I don't know. We'll see. But I do have a lot of space. I have quite a lot of space. It doesn't look like it to me, but once you start wandering through the area, it will definitely feel like it is, at least when you're inside. And the building is going to be bigger than the fort, and if we use the fort as an example, we have a whole lot of space in the fort. For sure, so that's not a worry. So it's really just going to be how far over do I want it and how long do I want it between the buildings. I think I'm going to have it pretty close to the road here, a couple of blocks over, so you can have entryways and stuff. But how close it's going to be to the grocery store over here, I need to have some sort of slope downward. If I started about, if I had a slope starting back here and going to there, and then down again, I could do that to here, and then I would just dig out everything from here on, something like that. Yeah. Can't do much more work, I guess, right now. I can dig out all that sand, but it's just going to be pointless until I get a new pick. So that is something I will do very soon. But I think I'm going to end the episode here. Still about 25 minutes, so hopefully it wasn't too boring. Everything huge rebuild, I still have to make plans and preparations, and I know I try to generally do all that sort of thing off camera, and I am going to still. I just didn't want to leave you guys hanging without an episode for Monday. At least we have plans for the future. I'm not it's better than me coming on here, I think, and saying, well, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the next 10 episodes, you know. But this idea kind of just popped into my head today. I was like, why isn't there a bazaar? That would make a lot of sense. We're in the desert. What do you think of? You know, the grand bazaar. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a grand bazaar, and yeah, it's. I think of all the things we've built so far, the palace notwithstanding, it will be probably the most intricate. I'm hoping. I want to have the inside very fancy, the outside not so much, but the inside hopefully very fancy. Be very repetitive in a way because there'll be many stalls, but at the same time, it's gonna be I don't know. I want to make it really fancy, so just wanted to. We had another snapshot recently, which we are not on, of course, but I don't really know what they did. There's one thing I do know is that see how I can swim quickly in this block of water. I don't know why it's the case, but it's a very good example. And then versus me being in this block of water, where I sink to the floor very quickly, and then it takes me a long time to go up. The case is that in one of these, the water blocks are solid all the way down. Each block is a solid infinite water source. On the other one, there's only one infinite water source, which is on top, and everything below it gets is flowing water. So if you hop into it, it pushes you down. And apparently, in 1.5, the way they're doing it is now every time you have a water block on top that's an infinite water source, everything below it will also be an infinite water source. So if you're out in the ocean and you're digging holes in the middle of the ocean, you won't have those annoying like water flow things out everywhere you are, which is awesome. It's something that was always super annoying and hard to get around. You're doing something like this where the way I did it, I don't know if I even did it on camera. I didn't. I had to get a bunch of. I covered the entire thing with leaves except for the top block, and then put water all over it, and then broke the leaves. And that made it have the appearance of being completely solid, but in fact, it's not. Most of the water, not all of it, actually, some of it's good. But there are points where it definitely is not solid. And that makes for, apparently right here, the one place I like to swim in, it makes it for a pain to swim around in. So that's something I'm looking for, that'll be fixed. Other things, they tweaked that, they tweaked the bone mealing kind of algorithm a bit and some other stuff, but I think the most recent snapshot was just bug fixing. Oh, and they added a new method for snow, and the way it is snow can be put down in layers, so you have the thinnest layer being like 1/8 of the block, and then another layer all the way up to the top. And so you can make very gradual slopes now with snow, which is cool, except for the fact that I don't use snow in anything at all. It's kind of like the micro blocks that are there's a mod that allows for smaller blocks, which I think is something that's super awesome and makes for far more detailed building. And so hopefully it means that Minecraft is going in a different direction, so we'll have more detailed blocks for things like that. But if it's just snow, I don't know. It's something I'm not going to use much, and it's not going to be very useful to me. I don't really like the snow block either because it's got too much blue in it for a white block. So, I don't know. Minecraft is changing for the better, that's for sure, but things aren't always useful. I'm really just wanting a sandstone block. Not sandstone. A sandstone fence wall, sandstone wall. They did cobblestone. I have a sandstone wall, please. That's all I want. That's really all I want. But we'll see. I do have plans or something in the future, a secondary Minecraft Let's Play, but I think I'll keep that a bit secret for now. So we somehow made it 30 minutes, and I appreciate everyone who has made it this far very much. Thank you for watching my episode. I'm sorry we haven't done nothing except dig up a bunch of sand. Seems to be very much the case for everything, every episode. We're in a cyclical sort of environment here, where it's just picking up sand and moving sand to new places, and then picking it up, you know, placing it down, something like that. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the next episode, and see you again. Take care.